Now, one thing people seem to struggle with a little bit is using watercolour white. Now, what I want to very briefly show you, not messing about, just a quick little demonstration, is how I kind of mix the whites in the palette. I've shown you on some of the videos, but just kind of give you some general idea on how it all goes together. So all I would do, I get some little bit of water, pop it into the corner of the palette, so probably there, look. You can just about see it on the corner of the screen there. And with the paint, let's bring that onto the paper a little bit. I don't want to get anything on my painting. I'm working on this rabbit, as you can see at the moment. So I will drag this water into the neat paint. So this is really neat, straight from the tube there, look. And because I've got my board on a slight angle, the idea is that I can drag that up there. I can mix it as thick as I want it to go. So you can really control how thick you want this watercolour white to be. What you need to remember when using watercolour whites as well is that you want it to probably like a creamy consistency for the maximum thickness. If you want to go for a really thick highlight, you can just pick up a tiny little bit and pop that onto the painting if you want to. You can just see that put it over near the browny black. You see what I mean there? So that's a little tip and trick for you, just using watercolour white. So drag the water up. As I said, my board is on a slight angle, so the water runs down the palette a little bit, and then turn it. And as you pull up the paint onto the brush, twist and pull away. By doing so, you get a nice little sharp point. Again, I'll have a look over there on the tip of the brush. So well worth doing that as well. Okay, so I'll give some ideas about watercolour white. When you're using watercolour white, for example, around the eye here, around this little rabbit, I'll add just a little bit, not too bright. So this is not creamy, but it's in between milky and creamy. So it's quite loose, because I know that when this dries, it will fade a little bit. So it will dullen down. It won't be as stark white, as bright white. Whereas the highlights in the middle, what I would use for that, it gets a tiny little bit of neat white, thin it down just a touch, and come back in, and then just touch that little highlight just in the middle so it stays bright white. That'll just give you some ideas. So as I say, if you want it really just pale, so like around the chest here, there's not much in there. When it goes on the paper, it can look quite white, but you know that when it dries, it will fade, because it's quite watery, this version. So if you want it to fade down, just as a hint of kind of lightness in there, have it watery. If you want it really bright, have it thicker. Okay, so think about the consistencies, which are going to be watery, milky, creamy, and thick. Right, so those four things. Bear that in mind. Okay, so I'll talk to you again soon, and let's get painting.